We're here with Alex Powers, the director of the upcoming film Sadistic Eroticism. So why don't you go ahead and tell everyone what got you started on the script in the first place?
Well, you see, just me being a very weird person. One thing that really piqued my interest when I was in high school was just all these stories you would hear on the news about teacher-student sex scandals. And believe it or not, well, I do believe one or two scandals actually occurred in the high school I went to. Like, I think one was like a sexual harassment charge or something like that.
Okay, so I noticed that a lot of the films that inspire you appear to be way older films than usual. Why is that?
Because today's movies suck. No, because simply because I just prefer movies of the 70s and the 80s. It seems like a lot of the Hollywood movies that are coming out are just getting very, very corporate and very, very the mainstream is just becoming absolutely ridiculous, and it would just seem like it was particularly in horror movies when like every movie coming out from Hollywood is just the same old rehashed stuff. Like Hollywood finds like a good idea and is successful with a good idea, and they just basically just beat the hell out of it, beat the idea to death. Like a good example is like the director Oren Peli revised the found footage genre, which started with the Blair Witch Project, and basically found footage with like paranormal activity, and then came like Hollywood cashed in on the whole idea with like that movie The Last Exorcism, and then the sequels to the Hollywood sequels to the paranormal franchise. So yeah, it just seems like Hollywood's just getting corporate, and the ideas are just the same old over and over, and I prefer alternative, independent oriented films because they're different, simply because they're different. You're not going to see the same thing over and over and over. Like a slasher movie is a slasher movie, a found footage movie is a found footage movie, and a guts and gore film is a guts and gore film, like the Saw franchise.
What do you think separates your film from all those other films? Like, what is it that you bring different to the table?
I bring I sort of mix genres together. I mix steamy softcore comedic material with horror, which is something that some people kind of frown upon because they don't consider it a successful formula for filmmaking.
Speaking of filmmaking, how difficult was it to find actors willing to do a film this insane?
Very difficult. The original script, because we were only there for 5 days, the original script was written a lot bigger and a lot more elaborate, and we ended up condensing a lot of the script down just simply because we could do it, simply so we could do it. We, the production manager, an executive producer, found half the actors, most of the main actors, including Sophie D. And then I found a few other of the actors on this website called lacasting.com, which is sort of like a Craigslist for actors, if you will, in Los Angeles. And I posted up the characters that we needed, and I got quite a few responses, and I would find people I liked, and I would say, hey, I want to offer you the role. Here's the script. And each time they would be like, oh yeah, send me the script. I want to read it. Thank you for your interest. And I would send them each the script, and then I'd wait a week, and then I would write them back, and I would say, so hey, did you read the script? Are you still interested? And a good majority of each time, they would say, I think I'm going to pass on this. This is really not my cup of tea. This is a little too much for me. This is, I appreciate you considering me, but I think I'm gonna pass, you know. And then, you know, I think I remember I had a few people say like I've played edge, you know, I've been in edgy stuff before, but this is just deliberately, you know. So, and well, that's what it was. It was a film that was written to be deliberately in bad taste, because those are the films that one of the main genre of movies that I've always been a fan of and flocked to, like the Italian horror shock movies, like the Italian cannibal movies, the John Waters movies, trauma films, just things like that. Things very edgy, political incorrectness.
Well, speaking of actors, what was it like working with such a prolific porn star such as Sophie D? Because she's actually pretty popular. I was surprised you managed to get a hold of someone like that. Sophie?
Yeah. We basically, the production manager and executive producer, James Cullen Brezak, we got her through him, who basically had a lot in helping make this movie happen. He basically got her us, and she was fairly good to work with, fairly easy to work with. She was very nice, and she with her and like a lot of the other 3 porn actresses that we had on set, they made the mood a lot better, you know, because as you may probably know, filmmaking can be very stressful, so they kind of help the mood, you know, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it always helps to have porn actors on set.
I'll keep that in mind for future films I work on.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, one of the things that really interested me about your film was the fact that you actually went all the way to California. You flew halfway across the country with genuine VHS camcorders. And I also read online that you had a little problems with the VHS camcorders after you were done filming the whole film. Care to explain about that?
Problems?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really remember there being any problems with the VHS camcorders. Well, actually, I guess one problem we had with them was they worked fine for the most of the shoot. One of them broke down during one day of filming, but it actually we got it fixed and it worked fine.
You
The main problem, the main reason I regret shooting it on Super 8 is, I'm not sure I regret shooting it on Super 8, but I regret not having a double unit to record sound, because we recorded the sound on the VHS cameras, and I didn't particularly care for the outcome of the sound quality, because, you know, it was just, it would have helped if we had a boom mic, if we had or at least a separate device, you know, because we were so pressed for time and had to knock this thing out in just 5 days, and on a very low budget, lower than you would probably imagine. We weren't able to get as much coverage as I would have wanted to get, because I'm somebody who likes to get a lot of coverage. And as you know, I have a whole other film that's just sitting in the can that I have to basically shoot one last big scene for him, and it's pretty much done, and clear up some legal stuff with it, and then pretty much it'll be done. So hopefully I'll be able to release them together. But you know, with that film, I've just been, you know, making it with high school friends and a few college friends. I haven't gone to college yet, but I know some people, just basically friends, you know, over weekends and stuff. And I've been working on that one for about 3 years, and it's been proven difficult to film it, because, you know, it's just you're like at the mercy of your actors. Your actors they all have day jobs and stuff, and it's kind of hard to get a hold of them. So
Okay, so what is your history with California like, and also if you could compare what it's like filming in California as compared to filming in Tennessee?
Well, it's easy if you're with the type of movies that I make, that I'm making. It's easier to find participants in that area, because California is a lot more liberal. I had never been to California before, and didn't really have a lot of time to look around. We had like one setup day, and and then the next day we began filming. One thing about California that is it's very crowded, very crowded, very condensed, and I had no knowledge of it. I knew there were a lot of people there, but I didn't know how condensed it was. And we didn't have a lot of room to shoot. It just the whole shoot felt really condensed. We didn't have room. Like we lost one of the locations. We tried to shoot some of the sex scenes in a motel room, but we got kicked off the property by the manager, who suspected what we were doing. And I was actually surprised at that. And we ended up having to shoot it somewhere else. We ended up just going back to Doug's, the other production manager, Doug Waugh's house, to shoot all of the sex scenes. We shot it all in his room. That was just something, we just had to go with it, Another thing was we didn't have as much access to the school as I thought we would, or as I wrote into the script that we would. Like, we were supposed to have some offices that we didn't get access to, so we just had to slap something together, And I may choose to produce some reshoots within a few months, and try to just hand the directing over to Doug and let him redirect those reshoots, where we can actually secure some offices to reshoot in. So it's a possibility.
That's cool, man. So I guess my final question, out of all the things you could be doing with your life, why filmmaking?
Because it's interesting. It's interesting. It's something I've wanted to do since I was 7 years old, and I've really had no other interest aside from acting than filmmaking, and acting and filmmaking go together. I took theater in high school for all 3 years, and as far as I know, there is not one other person that is going into acting or anything in the performing arts as a living. They're all doing the smart thing and getting regular jobs, doctors, lawyers, teachers, and being total sellouts, but nonetheless, doing the smart thing. I respect that, but
I guess with today's economy now, I mean,
with the economy, it's difficult. It's hard to get. It's hard to break into the business.
Yeah, any kind of risk like that can be pretty intense, but I can respect you for wanting to go for that, man.
Yeah, I really don't have anything else to live for, so I'm gonna go for it. I might struggle to make my way. I might end up sleeping in a cardboard box or something on the street, but
well, hell, man, you can
whatever.
film that.
Any way to crawl your way up top. But no, I got a paying job. I'm doing television gigs with my dad, and that's still kind of in the same area. But I'm making a good living doing that. So if filmmaking doesn't work out, I can always work in television. I already have a career in that. So but hopefully I'll make it. I still have a lot to learn, and filmmaking is kind of a learn as you go process, and I'm still learning, and hopefully I'll learn enough to make like one good movie that would be like accepted into the mainstream, and make it that way.
That's awesome, man. Well, man, I want to thank you so much for coming out here and to answering all these questions. When do you think we can expect Sadistic Eroticism to come out?
This rate, I would probably say maybe late October. I'd like to have it done in time for Halloween, but if not then, like, I'm expected to have a rough cut by late September or early October, but I'm hoping to have it done by maybe Halloween, but if not then, sometime early in the year 2013.
Sweet. Well, man, thanks for coming out here.